Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Roliver Queen. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Knight Terrors. Now, if you've been living under a rock, Knight Terrors is the new DC Comics event that is horror themed, but it's taking place during the summer. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, I'm gonna just get this out the way. I'm not buying into this bullshit, but if you are interested in Knight Terrors and you want to check it out, I know there's a lot of B and C list creatives that are a part of it. By all means, take your ass to the comic book shop and take your ass to Comixology and support the fuck out of these books. But why am I not checking out Knight Terrors? For a number of reasons. One, the presentation. There was no trailer. All it was just an announcement and Williamson going crazy on the timeline and on these podcasts left and right talking about how big this book is and how it's going to matter and yada, yada, yada. Also, they do this big ass checklist at us, and I'm not mad at anybody who's mad at that checklist, because if that's one of the first things you're presenting to me right when you're promoting an event, and events already don't have the best reputation among comic book fans, yeah, I would be a little peeved at that as well. Second of all, we're not too far removed from Dark Crisis, and we're not too far removed from Lazarus Planet, and we're only a couple months into Dawn of DC, and most of the Dawn of DC books are going on hiatus in favor of Knight Terrors. So instead of Nightwing, you'll get Knight Terrors Nightwing. You'll get Knight Terrors Batman, Knight Terror Detective Comics, and so on and so forth. And here's the other thing. It's not even being written by the original or the current creative teams on the main books. Some of them are, but most of them are not. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So just off of principle, I don't respect that. Like, I just got Green Arrow back after God knows how long. You gave me 3 issues of Green Arrow and then you're snatching it away for the next couple of months. Nah, bro. But let's talk about who's responsible here. Who's responsible for this conundrum? Obviously, the first person you think would be Williamson. Williamson is the one that's promoting this book left and right. Now, Williamson is getting a bag by DC Comics. He's one of the bigger creators over there. And Williamson is not going to speak logically, because logically this doesn't make sense. But he's getting paid, and it's his job to make this book seem like the next big thing. So if I was Williamson getting paid that amount of money, shit, I would do the same thing. But here's the real culprit behind this thing. Very poor management. There's no real editor-in-chief over there. Jim Lee is only editor-in-chief in name and name only. Let's take it back to Dark Crisis. One of the main cons of Dark Crisis is that it felt that the entire line wasn't behind it at all versus previous events. Because while you did have a couple books, such as, I Am Batman and The Flash that tied in, a lot of the other titles did not budge when Dark Crisis was going on. Like, Batman went unbothered, Superman went unbothered. You didn't even have a Dark Crisis Nightwing book. You didn't even have a Dark Crisis Batman book. You didn't have the tie-in books that would showcase what's happening in their worlds or their cities while those main heroes are gone. You didn't have none of that. I think this would have been the time to put something like that in place, because one of the rumblings about Knight Terrors is that it's happening just so the creative teams can catch up on the main books and other indie shit. You could have saved yourself a bunch of trouble by, instead of fucking around and doing little to nothing on the main book while Dark Crisis was happening, so now we're not disrupting the entire line a couple months into the new initiative. But again, that's what happens when you have very poor management. Let's talk about the aftermath. Will it ruin the momentum? I don't know. I'll tell you right now, I will go and pick up the books that were on hiatus once they start up again. But what about the other folk that are not committed to the game like I am or other people? And second of all, will it matter? Is it important to the point of it just being referenced in a future event and then that's it? Something minor? Or is this really going to have lasting ramifications? Are we really going to feel the effect of Knight Terrors? Got to ask ourselves these questions. The upside about Knight Terrors is that a lot of B and C list creatives are working on these books. So you may have a scenario where there's a couple of breakout Knight Terrors titles to the point where you have people that are wanting more books from these creatives. Then in turn, we may have more diversity in the line, even more so than we have right now. So that's something that could be good, even though I'm not reading the shit. But overall, I'm still not with it. But I am curious to see what you guys think down below in the comments. Are you reading Knight Terrors? What do you think about the rollout? Do you think it'll matter? Do you think we may have some breakout creators as a result of Knight Terrors? Let's talk about it all down below in the comments. And once again, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. Much love, much peace. It's your boy Roliver Queen, and I'm out.